Good evening, Wesley. Thanks for joining us on NC Continental Prime. Wesley, I think you need to unmute your mic. Okay. Good evening once again, Wesley. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Very sad and horrific news coming out of Malawi today. How was this news received by the general public and parliamentarians in general?
You know, it's extremely shocking. It's something that anyone expected. You look at the Honorable Clement Chiwaya. He has had an outstanding career as a lawmaker, three-time lawmaker, serving Malawians through his constituency for 15 years. It's something that was quite shocking for everyone. The members of parliament and every Malawian was very shocked.
I mean, it wasn't just any member of parliament. He wasn't just an ordinary member of parliament. He was, I understand he was deputy speaker, which is a high-ranking position in parliament. So does this not paint Malawi in bad light? And knowing that he's a special needs person, why did this just go on for too long? Is there any response from the government, from Parliament, to this incident so far?
Yes, in addition to being deputy speaker, he also served as a full minister in a ministry responsible for people with disabilities. So he's quite high-ranking, as you were mentioning. In terms of official explanation from Parliament, there has been an official explanation in which they have stated very clearly that him being a former deputy speaker, he was entitled to buy the official vehicle he was using. And what we gather is that he indeed bought the official vehicle. But the process of changing name, apparently for reasons not known, it took so long, perhaps more than 2 years, to the extent that the comprehensive insurance of that vehicle expired. Now, when the insurance of the vehicle expired, the vehicle was in possession of the late Chiwaya, and he was involved in an accident. Since he was involved in an accident in a motor vehicle that was not insured, then he can't claim. We understand he went to Parliament for that reason, to remedy his situation. But the motor vehicle was in his usage. It was indeed bought, but the change of name, that process, had taken unreasonably long, so to speak.
So we understand the bureaucracy that comes with running government offices. It's not just the Malawian problem, the red tape is in, but 2 years is quite a long time. So why do you think Mr. Chiwaya decided to end his life in the Clerk of Parliament's office? Do you think he pointed fingers at him as being the one that has prevented him from getting this vehicle? And it's quite a shocking and bizarre turn of events that he would end his life, and he even left a note insinuating that, you know, these are the people that made me take my life. What do you make of all of this?
Yeah, it's something that is very difficult to say. Why did he have to take his own life? Because that is a monumental decision to make, taking your own life in light of the circumstances. It's very, very shocking. Suffice to say that the issue about change of ownership is an issue that Honorable Chiwaya took to the commercial court, I understand, and he also took the same issue to the office of the Ombudsman. Now, the office of the Ombudsman ruled in his favor. But when the office of the Ombudsman ruled in his favor, the matter that he took to the commercial court was not yet concluded, to the extent that the Parliament was not able to implement the recommendations from the Ombudsman, waiting the conclusion of the matter at the High Court. So, in my view, I would say that maybe he was so frustrated with the processes that he went through. However, this can only be a speculation. Because looking at the circumstances,
Yes.
it's not like he did not use the motor vehicle. He had the motor vehicle. He was using it. Only that the change of name, that process didn't happen for reasons that I cannot understand myself.
Mr. Namasala, do you think following this ugly incident, there might be some reforms in parliamentary processes to, cut some of this red tape and bureaucratic bottlenecks in ways of, in processes?
Obviously,
or will it be business as usual?
It's normal that people should learn from things that have happened in the past. We are in this rather sad predicament because of what one can say, the bureaucracy that takes unnecessarily long and can be frustrating. But I believe that Parliament will look into this matter critically, examining itself of the processes that they do, not only to the Speaker, but even former members of Parliament, to avoid a scenario whereby we have this unfortunate incident recurring. So I believe Parliament will take care of that.
Now, finally, Mr. Wesley Namasala, there was indeed a breach of security. It wasn't just that a suicide took place in the Parliament building of Malawi. There was also a breach of security. The Parliament building is a well-guarded building, and later Clement Chiwaya was able to sneak in a weapon. Should other members of Parliament be worried about their safety going forward, and will this be investigated?
Well, I must say that it's not the first time in Malawi to hear that somebody has been found with a rifle in Parliament. In the late 90s, if I recall very well, there was a minister by the name Clement who allegedly was found with a rifle in Parliament. And I think just maybe last year, we had an incident that the leader of opposition at the gate, the scanners there detected a rifle in his bag, but it was taken from him. And later on, the police explained that it was licensed, and they gave it back to him.
Yeah, it's licensed, but you don't bring. I mean, the Parliament is a hallowed chamber where people pass laws and make legislators. You don't need a weapon in Parliament.
Exactly. I'm just giving you the context that it's not the first time, but it shouldn't happen. However, there has been an explanation from Parliament. They say that the scanner alerts that they have at the gate, the ones that detect metal. Since Honorable Chiwaya was a person with a disability, he was moving with a wheelchair. So those scanner alerts, they had thought that they were coming from the wheelchair, perhaps the metal from the wheelchair. That's why he managed to pass through with the rifle. Something that, to me, it doesn't make sense, but well, that's the explanation. But they have pledged that there will be more tighter than before in their security system. Okay. But it's indeed worrisome to have people managing to build the system and entering Parliament, which is well guarded, well secured, with ammunition. It's worrisome.
Thank you. On that note, I think we'll leave it there. Thank you, Mr. Wesley Namasala, for explaining and giving us context to this very sad and bizarre incident that happened in the Parliament in Malawi today. We do appreciate your insights on the subject.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.